prop, we're going with Carl Heyman, Nicholas Mass, and Julian White. Well, you've already, you know, Nicholas Mass is more experienced, but I don't know. Would Carl Heyman be like more well-renowned if he didn't play for New Zealand when they were at their peak? Well, yeah. So I think I'm going with Nicholas Mass for prop and Julian White for other prop. First candidate for the best hooker of all time, Sean Thompson. He led the New Zealand All Blacks for just over 5 years, and he has a lot of experience, and he led the team very well. So that is definitely a tough choice, because our next one is Keith Wood. I don't even really know why I chose him. Maybe just because I like his nickname, the Raging Potato. But he's definitely a good player, and he's very well renowned for one of the best hookers. So we will keep that into. So our final candidate for hooker is Steve Russell, and I'm choosing him as because he, even though he didn't play much, he definitely improved over the time he was playing, and he impressed everyone, and he was also part of the squad that won the World Cup. So maybe that shows how good he was playing. So, and I reckon he should win, as he definitely impressed everyone. So I'm going for hooker Steve Russell. Okay, so I'm going for the two locks, 4 and 5. So for number 5, I'm doing that first because I have really good candidates. We're going for the first candidate, Adam Coleman. I think Adam Coleman is. I think Adam Coleman should be a candidate because he's not only good at driving power in the scrum. He's good. He's easy to lift. Well, not easy to lift, but it's easier for him to get the ball in the line out because he's taller than most of them. He's very tall, like 6 feet something. I don't know. Yeah, he could play basketball, and actually that would be fun to watch. Candidate is Sam Whitelock. I don't know why, but I don't know. He just, every time he's playing, he just plays with such an intensity and like will to win. So he's definitely got a motive to win, and that's why he would be a good lock in the a shocker, but our last candidate is Maro Itoje. I don't know why. He's just a very talented player, and he comes on to our list. So I have made my decision, and we are choosing Adam Coleman as our number 5. Disclaimer, I know Maro Itoje normally plays blindside flanker, but I just think he'd be more like, with all the strength going into the scrum, I think we need a bit of a balance, so I think I'd put him in I think I'd put him into consideration because we just need a bit of a balance. Before we go on to the next one, I have my dad here. He's very good at watching rugby. He does it all the time on the weekend. That's his hourly pastime. Okay, anyway, so the first candidate for number 4 is John Eales. He normally plays number 5, but he can also play number 4. So that is the first candidate. I think John Eales, because he's very experienced and he's won 2 World Cups, and so he's very experienced and he knows how to lead a team and all that.
Yeah.
Dad, what do you think?
Yeah, look, he spanned a long period of the game, and he moved from when the game in the line-out was jumping by himself to assisted, and he was able to cross over those. He was very dynamic, and really one of the only locks in World Rugby that was also kicking for goal.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
you know, he was very talented as well as a good leader. So,
Yeah, and he can
certainly,
play more than one position.
yeah, absolutely. You know, certainly being a World Cup winner on multiple occasions, you know, provides
Not many
him
people
with,
do that.
yeah, exactly. So it gives him a little bit of a leg up, for want of a better word, in the standings of being a world class and in the team that you're suggesting.
Okay, so our second candidate is Brodie Retallick. So, yeah, Dad, you go first.
Thanks, son. Yeah, so Retallick, really dynamic player, and I think you were saying before, Finn, he's very agile as well. I think being the only lock to have won World Rugby Player of the Year in that position gives him, you know, a bit of kudos and you know, respect for that area, and reflects the type of game that he has, which is very aggressive.
Yeah, I mean, he's very fast and agile, but you got to keep in mind, a lot of players are very fast and agile, but they just don't play with the right team. So you have to think, if he was with Ireland, would he get the same fame and like respect?
Yeah, good point. He was certainly playing with a very good team, one of the greatest teams of all time, with the All Blacks, and you know, probably the most successful team in any sport globally.
Yeah.
The All Blacks. So certainly, you're right. You make a good point. But playing in a successful team does raise your profile to be successful as well.
Yeah. Hello and welcome. We are now doing our final contestant for the lock. So I think, well, maybe we are doing Victor Matfield, because he's a good tactician. He's like very good at coming up with plays that work instead of just plays that are just jibber jabber. And like we've seen him engineer plays that have won the game. And so I think, yeah, he's very fast and agile. He has the good power too, so he has a good balance. And he's also in the shape of in the mold of a normal South African forward, very powerful, very tough. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have our number 5, and that's Adam Coleman. And now we're deciding our number 4. So we have John Eales, we have Brodie Retallick, and we have
Victor Matfield.
Okay, so out of all of them, I know I'm extremely biased to Australia, and I'm not being biased here. I honestly think John Eales should win because he has good experience. He knows how to lead a team. He knows how to play different styles of rugby. Yeah, Dad, what do you think?
Yeah, it is. It's it's a challenging question because we've got 3 really good locks, right? You've got John Eales, who you say has won 2 World Cups and spanned a number of years as a leader. Very multi-dimensional lock, can kick for goals. You've got Matfield, who's, you mentioned, in the mould of a good South African forward, very hard, and a great tactician, as we've seen. I think working with the Springboks as well, a good and line-out tactician. And you've got Brodie Retallick, who's the world, Player of the Year, Rugby Player of the Year at one stage, I think. So, but I don't think you can go past a 2-time world champion. We said it before, being successful teams help you be successful, and I agree. I think we should have John Eales as the other lock.
Okay, so we have an all-Australian locks. So we're going to move on to our breakaways candidate for blindside. So we passed over Mara Itoje for lock, but I think he'd be really good in blindside because he's a good leader, and he's agile, and he's good at tackling. He has a really good balance, and yeah.
Yeah, he's come a long way at Itoje, I think.
Yeah, he started off a bit rocky, and now he's gliding.
Yeah, he's very matured as a player. He doesn't take any garbage from opposition players, and he's shown a lot of leadership. I think even now you're looking at Warren Gatland is looking at him as maybe the captain for the Lions team down to South Africa next year. So
Yeah.
you know that's shown
Bit of an
his
achievement,
growth.
yeah.
Yeah, it's shown his growth as a player and as a leader. So I agree. But Atoji's come a long way and is a very good candidate for number
So
6.
for our blindside flanker, we have.
First off the rank, Thierry Dusautois.
Okay, we're choosing him because he is very experienced. He's an ex-French captain and he knows how to lead. And there's an old quote saying, a bad team full of good leaders is better than a good team full of bad leaders. So he knows how to lead a pack. He knows how to support them.
Yeah, and he's got a good mix of
Agility
hard on the ball and French flair too, right? So
Yeah, he's very passionate about what he does.
Yeah, very much so. He's very a bit unlucky, I think, at times not to have more silverware in the cabinet. But certainly looked
He works very hard.
very popular in world rugby, as seen as one of the best players in his position for sure.
Yeah, and if you're popular, it's also a benefit to the team because if you're if you're a popular person and you move to a team, they get more popular because they have a popular person. I said popular so much. Second nomination is Jerome Kano, and I think he would be a good nomination because he's sort of changed the way that blindside flankers play, because it used to be just run the ball up, get hit, and then go down, get up, run the ball up, get hit, and now he's sort of changed the mold, and now he sort of made it so that the flankers, they had good agility, they knew how to step, they knew how to pass well. Yeah.
Very dynamic. He made it. He changed it, I think, into a more dynamic role than what was perhaps traditionally seen as a number 6.
Mm-hmm.
Good choice.
And the person we're choosing to be our blindside flanker is Schalkberger, because he adapts to his playing style against his opponents. So if you're a Southern Hemisphere team or a Northern Hemisphere team and you're playing against the other hemisphere, well, obviously Northern Hemisphere kicks more and Southern Hemisphere is more about running in. So if you can adapt to that, it definitely makes you a very good player.
I think so too, and he's just shown his longevity has really demonstrated how he's able to adapt to the running game as well, or the more modern game as was before. So, good choice.
So just when you're finished watching this video, I'll know. Well, you know because you see me right now. I just need you to go over, and it will be onto my channel, and there will be the next video because I couldn't post the full video because it was too long.